here, so we do have a quorum. First thing is the approval of minutes of the regular meeting of January 20th. Does everybody have a chance to look at those?
I don't vote, so.
You don't vote?
I make a motion to approve the minutes as they are. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I guess we're supposed to do roll call votes.
Yeah.
Half the things that I'm at, we don't do roll call votes, and this is the only one we did. So.
Fisher,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
and Stratton.
Yes.
Still learning your name, sorry.
Okay, and then financial statement from November 30th, which was tabled last time. There was something,
There was an expense to the hospital.
yeah, and
That
figured
was
out that those were
From
from
2 years ago.
Yeah.
like ancient, that the hospital finally got around to billing.
Right.
Yeah, and then with that, they didn't approve the December because there could have been a change on that with, if there was a change in the vendors, but everything was correct.
All of this is procedural stuff. Do you need to get out of here? You want me to get to you and let you do your thing? No? No?
Good.
You're good?
Yeah. Just go with your
I just don't want you to wait for nothing.
You're fine.
We'll hurry through this.
Oh, you're good.
So do we have a motion to approve?
Make the motion.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the financial statement from November 30th that was in question last time. Roll call vote.
Hanson,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Stratton,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes. And the same thing with the financial statement from December 31st. Same issues, wasn't it, basically?
Well, we
There was
couldn't
something
carry
else on
Forward, he was afraid that the November thing would be carried forward in effect in December.
Right.
With that being said, I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve that.
Fisher,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Stratton.
Yes.
Okay, and now, something new, the financial statement on January 31st. Anything outstanding on that we need to look at?
No, we are in the process, I talked to John, we're on the process of paying that, the stuff for Northwestern, getting that out of the way. That is still encumbered, in that capital outlay line, so you'll still see that on there, so. Everything else looks pretty good though.
Since Greg's not here, Matt, have you seen anybody's question on that? Since you're the other financial person.
Keep going. There's 75 pages of federal stuff.
Sorry.
Make a motion.
Motion to approve.
It's been moved,
Second.
seconded.
Stratton,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes. I guess you're doing directors and city managers
I
report.
was doing mine, I'm not sure what he has to report,
He
probably.
didn't give me anything, so.
We didn't have,
He said basically that you know everything you needed to talk about. So he
Okay.
didn't have anything
Yeah,
extra.
he
I mean,
did
what
say
He
he
didn't have
was-
anything then.
Okay.
The only thing I really have to report is we will take soccer up through Friday. This Friday, we already have 231 kids signed up. I anticipate about another 30 because I made phone calls to kids that have not signed back up from previous season, and they've either forgot or just haven't made it around to coming back out here. 2 more weekends of basketball, and then we're gonna wrap that up. That's going really good. Girls tournament this weekend, boys tournament the next. Everything else is going good. Hopefully the weather will warm up and we can start working outside.
Okay. You're up.
Thank you.
I like this bigger version of it.
Right,
It's
and I
easier to
thought
see.
the format that I had it in last time, it didn't, and this I thought also eventually might go to board size. It sits on an easel, sits someplace where people walk in and they see it, they ask about it, and give Spurs interest in that.
You do it over there, so you're facing the camera.
Thank you. No problem. I'll try to speak up as well. Okay, so we took the comments from our last meeting and tried to incorporate them into this revised master plan. The largest features that we modified were we took the corporate area where the corporate pavilion was surrounded by the Frisbee golf course. And we changed that to more of a picnic park where we put in some smaller pavilions that would sister up next to the corporate pavilion, which would have the facilities. And then also some sidewalks, just some paths for access to those where you're not going only through the grass, and then it's all landscaped. So it's more of a park for lounging. It's not really a recreational park. It's more of a go and sit and eat and drink and relax and really kind of a break from. So the thought was that if you have a group that is having some kind of a sporting event and they've got a break in between 2 games, they can go over there and have lunch, or they can take the team over as a group and get away from the fields and open it up for the kids that are actually participating. And then we took the water park, not the water park, we took the aquatic center off of the addition to the recreational facility, and we changed that to fitness aerobics strength training area. It's boilerplate only for the purpose of setting something on the paper as an idea of potential growth in that area, and then also put in under rec center expansion. There would be an admin area that would extend down towards that new skate park that was in the previous. Associated with that water park was a splash pad on the recreational facility, the recreational center. We took that off. There was some back and forth discussion. It can go back on. We've left kind of that horseshoe form and sidewalk immediately to the south and west of the recreational center expansion. And then we moved a splash pad over to the large quadplex that's on the, it's on the southwest quadrant of the intersection of all of the roads, and it's on the northeast of the 4 quadplexes, and that's a placeholder. So I had it in a different location because of the way that I interpreted my notes, but then we moved it around, so if it's not where you thought it was going to be, or if it's not meeting what you were expecting, that's open for discussion. We also, we talked about new indoor activity courts, and that related to, and that's kind of just to the north and east of the existing recreational facility. We looked at that as the area where you might have a sports floor that could drop nets and do indoor batting, or could have volleyball, or could just do a whole host of skating or inline skating. Basically a totally wide open, multi-purpose type space with a sports court type floor on it. And then for the Memorial Plaza, we pulled in some concession and restroom and storage component in that that's there by the soccer and basketball area. I think that encompasses the modifications that we made since the last time. I believe so. We also did take off the specific notation of something that would be potentially tied to Alva Public Schools in the southeast, and we just tagged that as undeveloped, so we could develop into something. It's not necessarily planned for a specific task. And the intent with this is that if it's getting to a point where it can kind of maybe gel, then we would identify a priority list by years and start to set up that recommendation of how you would implement this plan in phases. Obviously, first phase is lights and improved concessions and traffic guards and enhancing the components that you already have. Long range plan is building additions.
And we talked about some storage facility.
At each place, is that what you're saying? Yeah, like this year, we actually had, over on the baseball side, that where it says official storage building. We actually had budgeted in this year to put a new officials building over there. Now, Joe Don and I talked that we may hold off on that until we decide if this is the plan, you know, something we want to go with, because we don't want to put a building over there and go, okay, this isn't going to work. We do need, I don't know if we've been out to the softball field, but where the umpires dress is just a small shed that has drags in it and chalk in it and paint in it and everything else, and that's where they have to dress. So I'm trying to find something a little bit nicer where we can have some benches in there, and it's just for my officials to dress in.
I guess I was thinking about in terms of like equipment storage.
Oh,
and that sort of thing.
yeah, Joe Don and I had kind of talked about that we would need some, but we were thinking that because like right now, the only building we have our shop, which is right behind here, and then another storage building, which isn't very big. You know, it would either need to be placed in one of these corners, whether it be down here. Do you see the purple square just
in the skate park?
by the skate park? There's two of them right there. There's one by the skate park, and then there's also another one that's just south of where it says rec center expansion. We talked about those two areas maybe doing equipment. Yeah.
Okay. They were undefined on this plan.
Right.
That's what I'm saying, those were there, that's what I was wondering if they were.
Yeah, and that's,
Good spots for those.
when we looked at this, when we had sent it to him last time, I had said to him, we need some kind
Yeah,
of,
we had notes on the official storage up to the north, and so we implemented it that way, but we could definitely go.
Over here on the softball fields, would that be where they had been in that little garage area as well?
well, in the garage area as well, but like Joe Don and I said, when I said we not only need our officials building, but our concession buildings are horrible over there as well. We can't really move the bathrooms, those are set. So what we would probably do is somewhere in this area, in the softball area, is build an additional building for a bigger concession and officials to change, make it all of one. But it would be, we'd have one here and we'd have one over here. Because I know even the college softball, when the umpires come up, they used to dress in that little storage. Then we said, hey, once you come into the building, at least dress in here. Now I think they go to the old armory occasionally and we'll dress down there, but it's not real convenient at times. Where it says improved concession with official storage, somewhere in that area we would look to build a different concession and official building.
Now, the central building there is concessions and bathrooms.
And a little storage shed, yes.
And a little storage shed. And that's single level?
Yeah. We talked about going up, but there was some,
It
I don't know where
ended up-
Chad is on that, but
Well,
I think it was
structural
too
issues.
Structural, and then it was pretty expensive to do, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never understood why it was so expensive.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, putting an extra floor on that with, I mean, even outside steps to get up there for a dressing room. or
Right,
whatever.
right. And that's what we talked about, outside steps, you know, just on that, because on the, well, kind of the southwest side, there's absolutely nothing on that wall. So, you know, you could have stairs that go upstairs to that, but
What kind of construction is it?
Cinder block.
it's cinder block.
I mean, can you, The second floor on that, would that be 200,000? What was
It was expensive. Chad, do you remember the cost on that when
I
we
mean, it was
talked
just
about
something
going up into
ridiculous, and I
concession?
couldn't believe it.
No, I don't.
I have to ask Greg. Greg would know because he was in
I
the.
didn't know, were they having to put a sprinkler system in it? or-
I don't
was there
know all the
some reason
details,
why
but it was. I
just never understood why it was so expensive.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know all the details. I just know that Greg. I think it was Greg that he was looking into that, how much everything was. And that was. I thought that'd be
Look at that
ideal.
building and see, I mean, because that would be great if that
Just
had
the
it.
south.
Like
It would be
dressing
perfect.
rooms.
We don't have a lot of room to build too much big down there, but going up to do a dressing room, press box, whatever area up there, second level.
Do you have any drawings on what is built?
I will have to look because I don't know if that's in the blueprints that I have or not. I'll have to take a look.
If you do, that'd be great, because that would be very easy to determine if you're.
Yeah.
You can come up with a cheaper way to do that than what we were given.
Well, it sounds
What was
like
that,
there
2
would
years
be
ago
some-
that we?
Yeah. I think going up is the ideal thing to do, but if it's too much, then
I
I
mean, like you say, that'd be ideal, they could just,
Mm-hmm.
they're right there, go up and do it, and they don't have to
Yep.
go off somewhere.
I think they could even bridge over the top of it.
He's a big.
Or not as much clear. How many square feet was the space?
What is it?
You could
Like
easily do
15
it
by
for metal.
20?
What is it? What is the size of that building,
I
Chad?
think construction.
Is it like 15 by 20?
What would you say the size of that
It's
is?
probably 20 by 20.
20 by 20?
So 400 square feet, and it was $500 a square foot. That seems like it's very.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was trying to remember, it was just, it was stupid, I don't remember what it was, it just seemed so expensive,
Yeah.
but why?
I'll drive by there.
And I didn't know if it was regulations of what it had to be.
I don't know
or
that I
something.
really heard all the
The roof
details.
is all
as to-
metal on that.
Okay.
It'd be easy to take off.
Yeah, lift that roof off and then.
Set back on.
Does anybody have any other things to discuss on this? It looks like you addressed everything we talked about.
I think we've got a good plan in place.
And that's something that you can, I mean, in the details later, you can say, do that.
What is the process if we did want to change some, like, I don't know, like shade canopies, add existing seating over there by the soccer fields or something, and we wanted to change it to something else after approval of this? What's that process like? I mean, do we just,
Sorry, I didn't hear.
if we wanted to, say, in 10 years, we change our mind on something, or we feel like something else would be better in a certain area, what's the process to change this once this is approved?
Oh, I don't think this is completely set in stone. This is what,
This
this is what you have to do.
A working document?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, and it can be changed as we go.
At some point, you might say, you know, as the years go by, you're going to implement things, new things are going to come up, and some things are going to fall off of the radar. And at some point in time, you might say, we would like to have an updated plan to reflect where we are today and kind of what we're thinking about now for 20 years out from here. But this is just, it's a roadmap, but it's open for a little bit. It's got to
It's mainly that we don't just say, well, we need to do this and do it, and then find out that
Hey, wait.
we should have, I mean, we
Like
need electric lines, we need water lines, we need sewage lines, we need whatever that have to go right around.
But we
what
should have
just
put there
did.
before we did
Yeah.
this.
Or now that we've put that building in that location, we've made it to where we can't possibly develop anything past it because there's no way to get to it. Type stuff.
So approval of this is just approval of the strategic plan.
To start moving forward with it.
Yeah, the roadmap.
And then, I mean, and then once it's approved, then it's a matter of when you get finalized, detailed stuff done, is to, okay,
Yeah.
Prioritization.
what,
This would be.
what stage are we gonna be when?
We'd take this document and we would develop a milestone list in chronological order of when we want to do which projects today. So, lights, that's one of the very first ones. Concessions, that's right at the very front, and it might be something that you implement in your current budget. And then you would identify, we want to put this block in next year's budget, and then this block in the following year's budget. Not that you're necessarily going to absolutely do them, but you have a plan in place. And when the budget comes up and they say, what would you guys like, what are your thoughts this year? You've got something, so we're planning on doing these things, and this is what it's going to cost. This is what we be allocated for us this year.
Oh, I like that idea too. That having entrance for that parking area that's separated by landscaping.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of controls getting in and out of that parking lot. The other thing I was wondering on the stadium seating, is that going to be facing both directions or just the one that's used for the scoreboard?
I would face it because the West is so brutal.
And it's,
and most of the time, people don't sit on the west
That
side.
backside is where they play soccer or not, for the college.
The
which is-
college plays there on the east side.
So I would face the stadium toward the seating towards the east. That way you can have afternoon, evening games and on the stadium to the sun.
And then normally we do on that west field there, we break that up into about 3 different fields, like 2 U8s and then a U11 and a U14 will play on it. We just kind of, I mean, it can be used as a big field, but a lot of times we break it up to 3 small fields within the.
Do you have a plan of your different, how they lay out?
In soccer?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that people know how to set them up, and there's
Yeah.
no questions about.
Yeah.
Is the college, that football practice field that the college has used in the past, is that part of ours?
No, actually, I think it belongs to the VOTEC. Believe
Okay.
it or not, I think they leased it from the VOTEC, but I could be wrong, but it's not ours.
Does this VOTEC own all the way to the road there? Except for the houses that are on that side.
Well, right, yeah, there's some that's back.
It's kind of interesting that they have that area where the practice football field is. Kind of odd.
Especially how it's separated by that walking trail too.
Well, of course, that came about later, but
Yeah.
I mean, instead of that being part of the rec park, being part of theirs. Of course, I don't know how that was acquired back in the day, either for the VOTEC, what their plan was, or how they lost out or missed out on that land with the old gymnastics building. And you know what building we're talking about? There's a building that's right here, next to the VOTEC, that was a gymnastics facility built before that, was the pit in it.
Well, it's about right there where that white little box is where it says new.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's in front there of that,
Mhm.
yeah. So it's- But that's what we were talking about, and if we could acquire that, it'd make a great storage facility for
Oh,
equipment.
sure, yeah.
Major, I mean, the big pieces of equipment we put in there, because does it have 2 or just one big door? in the
I
back?
honestly don't remember. I didn't know that one.
Just trying to remember. It's been a long time since my girls were in gymnastics. Anybody have any other ideas, questions? Y'all feel comfortable with where we're at to approve, kind of getting the finalized plans made?
In spirit that it's the right approach, and we'll start into developing a time
Yeah,
phase.
yeah, and then setting the timetable on what we're doing so it doesn't interfere with anything more than it has to.
Yeah.
Bill. Again, can't move anything.
I move that we approve the strategic plan. As is.
Okay. Second. It's been moved and seconded to move this version of the strategic plan to get us started. Roll call vote.
Hanson,
Yes.
Stratton,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
Yeah, good done. Get to the next step. Now leave all the review.
Technology.
Thanks for being. But I am gonna go by and look at your building on the way out. If you
Yeah.
find plans for it.
I will. But it's, yeah,
It's
the
just a-
green building down there with the green roof. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you send me your hour again?
Yeah,
That work, did that work okay? That worked good.
Have a great.
Thank you, you too.
I don't know about anybody else, but
You don't see an email.
Well, we at least have
Make
a
sure that it goes through.
direction.
yeah. I mean, like I said, when I first came on this board, I was just surprised that there wasn't something like this somewhere where we were headed, so, yeah. We're headed that way. And it's been moved and seconded to do that. Okay, now, policies and procedures.
If you'll look at the policies, the things that are in red are just some of the things that we did change that was discussed in the last meeting. So I mean, if you guys are okay with those changes, then, that's what we go with. The changes, as far as the, tables and chair rental, and then the fees, the everyday fees for the gym rentals and the classroom rentals and things like that.
Did you guys have any questions on those?
Well, this was changed too.
It was all the changes that we discussed, right, correct?
Yeah.
I make a motion that we pass it. Or accept it.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the updated Alva policies and procedures manual.
Fisher,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Stratton.
Yes.
Any new business? Any remarks by anybody on it?
Well, let me make a remark, just nervous if I were Rick Cunningham. The agenda calls for approval of the Alva Recreation Center master plan. And the document also carries the name master plan, but the motion is made to approve the strategic plan.
Okay.
And I think that's a little bit of an issue.
Okay.
Make the motion to approve the master plan.
Or to amend your previous motion? You made the previous motion, right? To approve it?
Hanson motion,
To-
then Stratton
I
second.
think that's the way to do it.
So it's been moved to addend that motion so that it verbally says what
The agenda says.
the agenda does.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yes.
And roll call vote on that.
Oh, 3-1-0.
I mean, because we do have to approve.
Okay. Hanson,
Yes.
Stratton,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
and Fisher.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, I just remember last meeting, Joe Don asked about us calling it, or you guys calling it.
Strategic plan. No new business? No remarks other than wins? So tell everybody that's not here tonight to stay away more often. We are adjourned.